Birds, week 1 is finally here. The Falcons get ready for a new season against an old friend.
I'm pretty sure he's telling this guy, like, hey man, we don't win any other game, we want to win this one. So he's a very competitive coach.
It's a big day of college football ahead as the Jackets look to continue their red-hot start against the Orange. Here's a trivia question for you. What's the best way to start your Falcon season? That's right. Early Birds starts now.
Grab a cup of your favorite Joe and let's talk Falcons football on Early Birds, presented by Mercedes-Benz.
Good morning and welcome into Early Birds. He's DJ, I'm Justin, and the season starts tomorrow. We made it.
Thank goodness. I feel like we've been talking about the off-season stuff for so long. We've been talking about all the new additions. We finally get to see them on the field. I'm excited. I'm glad.
No more of that stuff. It all matters. Starting tomorrow against the Steelers, and let's get things started with the opening drive. It will be Falcons taking on those guys from Pittsburgh here at 1 o'clock on Fox 5. The football term, DJ, is unscouted looks, but shock, we finally get to see Kirk Cousins. The Zach Robinson offense finally find out what it looks like.
I think we all going to be in for a surprise because nobody has seen it except if you've been out at Flowery Branch. And I think the fans will be absolutely excited about what they see. There's so many weapons. There's so many guys to get the football. You got continuity up front with the offensive line. You got new weapons. You got a 13-year veteran quarterback. This offense should be exciting to watch, and I can't wait to watch them tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. Kirk Cousins, the man himself, says this is the moment he's been waiting for.
And I've been standing here for weeks, months, talking about how it's just talk right now, and that's all it can be in May and July. But eventually it's got to become not just talk, but actual substance, and it'll start on Sunday.
Put in some good time in camp and before camp to, get the reps in so that, our relationship grows as offense.
As we continue on the opening drive, across the field from the Falcons, or up in the coach's box, I don't know, Steelers offensive coordinator Arthur Smith, and shock, I'm sure he's going to have a little extra motivation. Oh, that's a nice shot right there. Look at this.
Yeah, that's back at the Georgia Pro. They talked to him recently with the Steelers. But, yeah, that's going to be some little motivation. Now, I think going in initially, he's going to want to beat the Falcons. Yes, of course, he wants to do that. But he can't focus solely on just that because if he does, it takes away from his actual game planning. He'll have some little nuances here and there. And I know he wants to put on a good show, not just against the Falcons, but in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, a place that kind of said, we don't want you anymore. So it should be interesting. Let's check out what my man D. Alford had to say when he said he's sure his old coach will have a little extra motivation for tomorrow.
He was a good coach, so he's going to come in trying to, run the ball, and he loved running the ball. So just me being a nickel, I got to have my mindset on getting ready to get in run fits and, stopping the run. But we had a pretty good game, man, going against, my old coach who gave me an opportunity to be in the league.
And as we wrap up the opening drive, shock, look, all 32 teams in the NFL want to start fast. Duh, that's easy. But how would a win tomorrow set up the Falcons for a difficult stretch they've got to start the season?
I think it's a confidence builder. You've talked so much this offseason about how good this team can be. We've seen it on paper, and everybody's talked about all the new additions. But to go out and put it on the field and show, all these value guys that we went out and got, it's worth it. I think it starts the season off the right way because, as we know, Eagles, Chiefs, Saints, it's going to get harder. You have to start the season the right way, at home, matter of fact, and get a win.
Yeah, great opportunity. Should be a great game, and we finally get to watch tomorrow against the Steelers. Welcome into Early Birds alongside DJ Shockley. I'm Justin Felder. We're excited to see Kirk Cousins up close. Somebody that Kirk does not want to see up close tomorrow, T.J. Watt.
I don't either. I don't think nobody on the Falcons even wants to do it. This is a guy, 96.5 career sacks in 7 years in the league, 47 in the last 3 years. This guy's been unbelievable. It's hard to block. The Falcons must say, where is Watt? Let's make sure we block him. I'm sure Kirk, that'd be priority number one for him.
Yeah, priority number one, indeed. Well, Shock, as a famous Pittsburgh native once said, with football back, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Mr. Rogers from Pittsburgh.
I got that one. I'm in there.
Go warm up the telestrator. We'll see you in just a few. But first, the Falcons have continuity and quality up front, led by Chris Lindstrom. The sixth-year pro at guard has established himself as one of the game's very best. He also had a little added insight on one of the newest members of the Falcons' defense. Our Victor Prieto sat down with Lindstrom one-on-one to find out more.
You were roommates with Justin Simmons out in Boston College, so how does a freshman guard and a senior safety come to live together?
So yeah, I was super fortunate to be able to mid-year at Boston College and got to know some guys, and I was very lucky that I got to qualify out of freshman housing after one semester, so it's a great loophole in the BC system. So Justin had 3 guys on the team, and they needed a fourth to fill the room, and they already had it. So got to sneak into senior housing as a freshman, and Justin was awesome. He really took care of me at BC, and he's such a great teammate, and I mean, he's had a tremendous career, but then just the person he is, and I'm so excited that he's here in Atlanta.
What was that like, living with a bunch of seniors as a freshman, you know, the O-line, the new man on campus, living with all the top guys?
Just quiet. I stayed in my room, lots of video games by myself, and kind of stayed quiet. Justin showed me a couple anime shows and stuff like that, but for the most part, just stayed quiet.
This is one of the better guards, by the way, in the league, Chris Lindstrom.
I feel like with all the new moves that have been made, it hasn't been talked about a lot, the lack of change that you guys have had on the line. You guys are bringing back all 5 starters. How does having that consistency help you guys as a unit?
It's incredible. I'm so fortunate to have, you know, the culture in our room and the culture with Coach Ledford and what he brings to us every single day. I know it's rare in this business to have the same O-line coach for 4 years, and then the continuity of being with Caleb for 6 years, Drew for 4, now Burge is heading into his 2nd year, and Jake for 6 with myself. He's been here forever, so it's something that really fortunate about, and something really excited that we get to grow our relationship, but then also have that familiarity on the field.
It seems like all these moves they're making, the front office is kind of telling the team, like, we're ready to compete right now. This is your 6th season now with the team. Do you get that sense? Is there something different about this team?
Yeah, for sure. Our goal is to go out and win the division, and we have to, it takes a week-by-week basis, day by day, but I think that's our goal, is to go win the division, and I don't think that's a surprise to anybody in the building and the organization, and I think Raheem has said that publicly to you guys all the time, like, that's our expectation and our goal, and we got to go work towards it every single day.
It's time to get some game intel from Shock. You're invited into the film room, so cut the lights and let's get started.
Now, one of those pieces on the defensive side that we've already talked about, Justin Simmons, adding him to Jesse Bates, it's going to be unbelievable to watch him play. I want to take you through a few plays that he made in his time in Denver and talk about some of the nuances that makes him so good. 30 career interceptions, but this guy just has a knack for the football. He understands awareness on the field, and he has good hands. You don't really talk about that with DBs. We'll talk about Jake in a minute, who's a receiver. They got great hands. DBs, you don't expect that from them. Let's watch this play here. This is Patrick Mahomes here, going to his left, and look at this. I'm talking about snagging it with his hands, but then also being able to get his feet down. That's a big deal. A lot of defensive backs can't do that, but his awareness to be able to do that. You're going to watch it again from another angle. Watch him come across and make this play where he understands exactly where he is on the field. A hands catch, by the way, it comes out with. Now, this is an interesting play here. Now, this is him in this quarter safety. So he's got a quarter of the field. This guy got a quarter. This guy has this flat area. This guy's going to run this route here. It's a little stick route. But he reads it so quickly, and then he's going to drive on it. Watch him drive on this football and make the play. It's an unbelievable job of him doing that. Here comes the out route, and look at him break on this football. Now he's going to use his hands and his body to get this football an interception, and then he wants to make some plays after he catches the football. This is a guy who's done that in his career, take one back to the house. But watch this play here. This is the unbelievable play here. He's in coverage here, and this guy's going to run another stick route. But watch him come out of this thing, and he's going to undercut it, knowing he's got this sideline to use all the way out here. Does a great job of undercutting this play here, and you're going to watch him come through it, and it's an unbelievable job of picking it off once again. Oh, just knocking it down. I mean, just reaching out, grabbing it. Justin Simmons is going to be an unbelievable piece to this defense, and you can line him up anywhere. Him and Jesse Bates, oh man, as a QB, Justin, he's got to be aware of where those guys are. But Justin Simmons, it's going to be fun to watch on Sundays.
Chuck, Justin's in Atlanta. There's just something about him. That's all I'm saying. More to come on Early Birds. UGA has their home opener this afternoon. Michael Jenkins here to tell us if Georgia is the clear top dog early this season. Plus,
you just look back in the quarterback and see you got 2 seconds to throw the ball.
talk about a quick internal clock. Charlie Warner talks about doing the dirty work of keeping Kirk Cousins clean. That's when we go deep.
You're watching Early Birds, presented by Mercedes-Benz. Best, nothing. And sponsored by the Georgia Lottery. Today could be the day. And the Home Depot. How doers get more done. More Early Birds coming back at you. Early Birds. It's not Saturday down south without talking college football. Brought to you by Zaxby's. Famous fingers and sauces. Here's Shock.
Well, we promised you Michael Jenkins, and we finally got him. He had joined me on the big desk today, man. Obviously, this guy did a couple good things at Ohio State. Holds a couple records. I mean, so who else we want to have some college football talk to? My boy Jake. Jake, first off, welcome to the show. How you doing, bro?
Good, man. How are you?
Good, man. I'm doing well. Of course, I'm doing well because my Dogs had an impressive first week performance against Clemson. First, your thoughts on the game. What did you think? What did you expect? And do they deserve to still be number one after last week?
Yeah, I mean, first half, I was like, okay, Clemson's staying in there. They're trying to keep it close. And then second half, it was all Dogs, all Georgia. And they let the world know in college football know that, hey, we are number one and we're here to stay.
Are you kind of surprised that, hey, this offense looked the way it did in the second half, losing a guy like, Brock Bowers from a year ago?
I mean, a little bit. I mean, it's hard to replace Brock Bowers, but I mean, this is Georgia. Kirby Smart. He's going to have the guys in there that can, step up to the plate, and they did just that.
And speaking of Kirby Smart, here he is early this week on how his team must prepare heading into week 2.
The next step is to get a good Monday practice in, good Tuesday practice in, a good Wednesday practice in. That's all we can worry about right now is be where our feet are and keep growing and try to gain more depth by our practices.
And Jake, another school in the state that's putting people on notice around the country is your Georgia Tech. I'm calling them your Georgia Tech. You had a nice little, I'm
on the bandwagon. Yeah, I'm on with Coach Key. Let's go.
They're not 2-0 and ranked is Georgia Tech for real, or do you think they still are they a contender in the ACC?
I think they're a strong contender in the ACC. Obviously, we've seen what they did with Florida State. Easier win, this past Saturday. So now they go with a big test up to Syracuse. Cal McCord, former Ohio State quarterback, threw 6 touchdown passes in his debut last week. So big test for the Yellow Jackets.
And we were talking about this earlier. Something that does travel is their run game. They can run the football, so it's going to be interesting going through the season. Jackets head coach Brent Key was asked, does the month of September matter? Check out what he had to say to that question.
No, I've never feel like we've hit our stride. I mean, if you want to play 15 games in a season, you better not be peaking at week 1 or 2. Right? No one really cares what you do in September. People care what you do as the season goes on. You got to continue to build and get stronger.
Nobody cares. All right, Jake, I think you agree with me. The big game today is Texas versus Michigan. Ooh. I can say it. I know you don't want to say it, but I know you enjoy talking about the school up north, as you guys call it up there.
You can't say the name.
But when you break down this game, what sticks out and what do you think, and who do you think comes out on top of this game?
Obviously surprising, Texas is a 7.5-point favorite
in the
big house.
Yeah.
So Quinn Ewers and this offense, they're rolling even after just one game. So it's going to be a tough challenge against this defense. Will Johnson, potential top 5 pick at cornerback for the Wolverines. So it's going to be a good test for both sides.
Man, you got a veteran quarterback, and you see Quinn Ewers there going to the big house. Should be a great game. That one comes on here at noon soon, so it's going to be fun to watch that one. Jake, I know that was tough talking about the Wolverines, even though you didn't even say their whole entire name.
You caught that?
Yeah, I got that. All right. We look forward to you doing it every week, man. All right, Justin, you okay after last week in the display from your Gators?
I am not. No, DJ and Jake, I am not okay after that one. Guys, great job. Hopefully my Gators can pick things up this week. Well, my favorite segment on this fine show is called Going Deep, where we ask a Falcons player how they do what they do. Tight ends get in the headlines when they're catching touchdowns, but they can make a career out of being effective blockers. New Atlanta tight end Charlie Warner is an expert in that aspect of the game. The former UGA standout explains in this week's Going Deep.
Tight ends are probably asked to do pass protection anywhere from once a game to 5 or 6 times a game. Not 50 times a game or 40 like an offensive lineman. First thing would be, who am I going against? If it's that guy out there, you just look back at the quarterback and see you got 2 seconds to throw the ball. Depends who it is, depending on what their moves are. If they're a bull rush guy, if they're more of a finesse, spin, hands kind of guy. Some guys you truly are kind of holding on for 2-3 seconds and hoping that ball's out. Inside hands on his pads. Sometimes you can get one in, one out, and try to just pull in because you don't want him to sling you. You want to get your hands on him where he can't swipe your hands off and then go to quarterback free run. So, and just quieten your feet down. A lot of guys move their feet too much. You want to just quiet your feet down, slow, controlled steps, and get attached to them.
It's dirty work, but it's important. Well, one of the guys trying to get to the quarterback tomorrow had a long, difficult road back from a serious injury. You'll get insight on Grady Jarrett's return to the field next on Early Birds.
Going Deep is brought to you by Zaxby's. Famous fingers and sauces. We're getting your Saturday started right. Early Birds is back in a moment.
Welcome back to Early Birds. I know a lot of Falcons fans will be cheering extra loud tomorrow when Grady Jarrett runs out of the tunnel for the first time, completing his comeback from a torn ACL. It was a long road and a lot of hard work for one of the toughest players you're ever going to meet. And that's the focus of this week's Emory Road to Recovery.
Grady's a great example of an amazing athlete, an amazing player, an amazing human. He is blessed with great genetics and he works extremely hard. So when you watch a recovery like his, even though he's blessed with all these things, we still are very diligent about testing his strength, testing his function, talking to him, listening to him, watching how he moves, watching his speed. As we go through that process, it's a continual, gradual increase and uptick in what he needs to do to get to the point where he's going game speed, because game speed is very difficult to replicate in a physical therapy suite or on the practice field or in a training room. You really have to kind of make sure that you're just taking them step by step by step, getting all the way up to the point where he can kind of tell you that I'm doing everything that I would normally do to prepare for game speed and to safely get to that point. And then yes, we do biomechanical testing. We do what's called isokinetic testing, where we're testing strength side by side. We want to know that he's restoring his strength and that he's restoring the symmetry between both the surgical side and the non-surgical side. And so there's tons and tons of things that we're doing and watching, and then again, as I always say, just listening to him too. We want him to be the one who ultimately determines that he's ready to play.
Oh, Doc is spot on. I've been there before. All right, more to come on Early Birds. One of the newest Falcons player is already a beast at Falcons trivia. He might have gotten a little help too. We'll explain after the break.
You're watching Early Birds, presented by Mercedes-Benz, on your official home for Falcons football, Fox 5 Atlanta. Early Birds has been presented to you by Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing.
Me looking back on just like my upbringing from high school to college and now to the pros, man, there's so many people that just poured into me and loved on me. And, you know, I've always wanted to do that, pay that back, let these kids know, like, man, you can do it.
Well, Falcons players were out in the community this week visiting high school teams, including Justin Simmons and Darnell Mooney. They're at Parkview High School in Shock. You can see the smiles on their faces. I'm sure this was awesome for the players.
I mean, it's unbelievable to have guys who you probably look up to every single week and watch them on TV and say, you know what, these are guys I aspire to be, and them to give them some real authentic, you know, conversations is always pretty cool. And you can see the excitement there. They played trivia there. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
So at Parkview, they did some Falcons trivia. You see the high-fiving here. They split up into teams, and Justin Simmons just got signed to the team. Already knows his history. He led his Parkview student team to trivia victory. Very cool stuff. Yeah. Be sure to check out the Dirty Bird Report tomorrow night. We will wrap up the Falcons game against the Steelers, the season opener, highlights, interviews, and oh so much more. That's tomorrow at 11:30 p.m. Make sure to tune in. Shock, I also want to ask you about the huge topic on the Steelers side of the ball. Quarterback. They got a new one in Russell Wilson. They got Justin Fields, spent some time at UGA Harrison High School. So how do you see Arthur Smith using these guys?
You know what, I think it's going to be a mixed bag. I think you play Russell the way he's played all his career. You use Justin in kind of they call it a package, but I don't think they use him in just, he comes in and runs the football. I think he's going to come in and throw it as well. You got two dynamic guys. The Falcons have to be weary of these guys moving around and running. Arthur Smith's got a kind of different dilemma on his hand, having these two quarterbacks playing. The Falcons have to be aware of both guys. And we were just talking about it. Raheem already said that Mike Tomlin said he's going to play.
Right.
So we know he's going to play.
Yeah.
They got to lock him down.
Yeah, Mike Tomlin said we're going to play Justin Fields. Go ahead and prepare, his good buddy Raheem Morris. But Morris said it's a rules week for them. They focus on themselves. That's what they got to do and try to start the season with the win. That was what the Falcons are trying to do. And we will be talking about it next week here on Early Birds. Thank you for joining us. For DJ Shockley, I'm Justin Felder. Thanks so much. Enjoy the game tomorrow. Have a great day and a great rest of your weekend.